1% of dudes rapping, they ain't nice as me. 98% ain't live the same type of life as me. The judge gave me life and then they sent me where the life is be. That level 4 with depth and vice, the type of stuff they like to see. Two choices, fight or flee. I refuse to die a chump. I never been a mark, but damn, it's scary when that riot jump. I seen dudes cry, get punked, and some sexually brutalized. Knew a dude who lost his life and he was only doing 5 year-long racial fights when homie all you do is ride. Lonely days and nights up in a hole causing suicide. From the moment you arrive, you see the Mexican mafia, AB skinheads with big giant swastikas, pro-black philosophers, the BGF, the Kumi, and Muslims who will murk you from the nation to the Sunni. That MS was loony, quick to ride up on they rival. Even Christians went to church, hide knives up in they Bible. Political and tribal, the Crips and Damus, the Long Beach, the Hubs and the Dubs and the Grooves, the IE, the Bakersfield, the Dago Pyrus, the Hustlers quick to roll, the gangsters gon' move, whatever click you choose.
Say what's cracking, YouTube? It's your boy 16 to life, and I'm back like I'm on a parole violation. Guard down! Now, for those of y'all that's new to my page, in 1994, I got arrested. I was eventually sentenced to 16 years plus life, and I served 24 years straight in the California prison system. Yeah, that's me gassing right there on that intro. And if you want to get that song, get at me. It's available only on a digital download, 10-song EP, purchased directly from me. Hit me up on my email, 16tolifemusic@gmail.com, Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle me $20. And I'm going to get it to you ASAP. Now let's hop right up into this story, man. So this story takes place in 2003. Originally, I'm at a prison known as Ironwood, which is a level 3 in Blythe, California. Now, the reason that I was trying to get transferred to Ironwood when I was on a level 4 is because that was the closest level 3 that was closest to my house in Banning where I lived at, right? So it was maybe about 2 hours away. So I get there. I stayed there about 6 years, and then my points dropped down to a level 2. Now there's a prison known as Chuckawalla directly across the street from Ironwood, literally like a 10-minute bus ride, if that, right? So they transfer me over there to Chuckawalla. I'm at Chuckawalla maybe a week when they call, tell me to report to the program office. When I get to the program office, they tell me to stand up, they handcuff me, they take me to the hole. I'm wondering like, damn, what's going on? So when I get my lockup order, which is basically a paper stating why you're placed in a hole, it basically read like this. A CO works there at Chuckawalla, and the victim in my case was a friend of this CO, and due to the fact that this CO was a rover, meaning that he was not specifically assigned to any yard, because there's 4 yards at Chuckawalla, if my memory serves me correct, he could work any yard on any given day, and they didn't want me and this individual to have a negative encounter, and due to that fact, I was being placed in the hole pending transfer. Now, as I'm sitting in the hole, I'm wondering like, damn, what's going on? Because a couple of days before they locked me up, I recognized and had spoke with a CO who was from Banning, right? But we talked a little bit, and he expressed some things in our conversation that let me know he definitely had great disdain for my victim. So I'm thinking like, damn, man, did this dude send me to the hole? It's crazy, right? So about a day or two later, I'm in there, I'm laying on my bed. Now, when you're in the hole, anytime they transfer you anywhere, to the shower, to go talk to, the counselors or whatever, anything they're doing, you're handcuffed while it's going on, right? So as I'm laying in the bed reading a magazine, my door slides open about 2 inches, and then it closes. I look up, I'm like wondering like, damn, what's going on? It does it again, right? So I get up, I go to the door. I happen to see working in the tower the guard from Banning who I had that conversation with a couple of days ago. He like, man, what's up? He throwing his hands like, what's up? Why you in the hole? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, hold on, man. I'm gonna come holler at you, right? So in about 10 minutes, he comes to the cell. He like, what's going on? So I explained the situation to him, and he's like, damn, So I asked him, are there any other guards who work here from Banning? Then he tells me, yeah. He tells me another individual, and I said, oh, that's him. That's who it has to be. So this was the situation. When I caught my case, I was 22 years old. The victim in my case used to frequent this female's house in Banning. This guard now was the little brother of this female. Now, at the time that I caught my case, the guard then had to be 6 or 7 years old. So there's no way he could have had a relationship with my victim, who was several years older than me, and I was 22. Nevertheless, he wrote what he wrote, and they sent me to the hole, pending transfer to another level 2. So I stay in the hole, man, maybe 2 or 3 months. They send me to another level 2 known as Corcoran SATF. And SATF is an acronym for the Substance Abuse Treatment Facility. Now, at this particular prison, they have many different buildings and levels in the whole entire prison complex. You know, you had yards that was level 2, yards that was level 3, yards that was level 4. They also had a couple of different level 2 yards they had a couple buildings that was the main line for general population for level 2s. And they also had a building that was for the dudes who were in the substance abuse treatment program. Right now, I happen to be in just the regular building, right? So I stay on this yard maybe about 5 months. Then I'm charged with a sticking, and they send me to the hole. If you're interested in checking that video out, the name of that video is Chill versus Goliath Part 1, Part 2. So when I'm in the hole, initially I'm in the hole all by myself, man. When I get in the hole, you got some Crips in the hole from Stockton, right? Or excuse me, from Sacramento. So they hit me up, you know, they send me a line, said, hey man, send us your paperwork. Now, the reason they done that, of course, to make sure I'm in the hole for cool charges, and in the event that I am in the hole for charges that are not considered undesirable, they then will add me to the roll call. So the roll call is this: every selective group in the hole, the Southerners, the Northerners, the blacks, and the whites, in the morning and at night at a certain allotted time, they'll, acknowledge their people with good morning. Now, so the brothers would say, in the morning at the time, in J-Ma Sabui Mike, in J-Ma Sabui J Killer, in J-Ma Sabui Chill. In J-Ma Sabui is good morning in Swahili. Then at night they would say good night in Swahili or whatever, right? So I send him the paperwork, they add me to the roll call. So as I'm maybe in the hole, maybe a week or so, the police come to the door, the correctional officers come to the door, basically asking me, who can I sell up with? So another riot has jumped off over there in the substance abuse treatment facility area, and this whole the 2 yards up there, the level 2 yards are dorm living, and so a riot has jumped off between the Northerners and the Southerners. And so the reason why they're trying to consolidate people in the hole who are in single tiers, because of course if you got 10 people in a hole, if you got 10 people in the cell and they're single cell, then you consolidate them. That frees up more space. So they had me go talk to a couple people, and eventually I chose to go in the cell with a dude now known as Hoover Mike. Now Hoover Mike was from the 4 yard. Hoover Mike had been charged with basically trying to start a riot or something like that. Hoover Mike was the MAC rep. Over there on the 4 yard, you had a San Diego Crip stab the guard in an isolated incident, and they had locked down all the blacks for months and months. Now, normally when an incident like that happens, they'll find out what specific group that individual was from, and they may just lock down that group. They may just lock down the San Diego Crips. They may lock down all the Crips. But in this particular incident, they had the Crips locked down. They had the Bloods locked down. They had the Up North Crips knocked down. They had the brothers from the Bay locked down. So after a while, the blacks is wondering like, okay, well, damn, you guys notice this is an isolated incident. Didn't nobody else get involved? Why are you keeping all of the blacks locked down for so long? Now, this dude is the MAC rep, Hoover Mike. So he comes out. This dude was definitely antagonistic towards the police, right? He definitely had a great disdain for law enforcement. So at one point in time, by him being the MAC rep, after he comes back from a meeting with the administration, because a MAC rep is basically a liaison between the administration and the convicts when you have discrepancies or misunderstandings or whatever it is, right? So when he comes back from the meeting, he says, hey, y'all, something like, man, we just gonna have to, stay together and do what we have to do or whatever. He said something along those lines, and for whatever reason, they felt that he was trying to incite a riot. They lock him up. He's in the hole, right? So now, so eventually me and this dude, we happen to go in the cell together right now. Like I said, his dude is extremely antagonistic towards the police. He's miserable due to the fact that he has about 75 to life on his 3rd strike. He's maybe about 50 years old. Doing the time is killing him. Every morning he wakes up, he's huffing and puffing. He goes to the door, he's huffing and puffing. The dude was extremely a miserable individual right now. Keep in mind, like I said, this is 2004, well before the End All Hostilities Act, right? So now when I first hit prison in 1996, I hit Salinas, right? At that time, now there's no YouTube, there's none of this stuff, So in '89, I had moved to Billings, Montana. I'm out there selling drugs and this and that, right? So I had no idea of Northerners and Southerners and whatever they had going on, right? So when I get to prison in 1996, all this stuff is new to me, right? So there definitely were Northerners on the yards, and there were also Bulldogs on the yards. I think that was around the time they started getting into it or whatever. But by me being in prison my first time, I'm just basically learning what's expected of me. So I didn't really pay much attention or even learn much about what they had going on, right? The Northerners, the Southerners, or whatever, and all that type of stuff right there, right? So now fast forward back to once I'm in the hole. Now I've been in prison maybe about 8 years, maybe 8 years. So now I have a better understanding of all the different type of happenings and going ons between the North and the South, the Bulldogs and all that, just by being in prison, being schooled, listening, so on and so forth, right? So I'm expecting, because I've been hearing about war stories between these two groups from individuals who have been on yards with Northerners and Southerners. I'm expecting a lot of hostility, so on and so forth, between the two groups. This is the first time that I had been in the company of Northerners and Southerners since I had left Salinas, right? So in Ironwood, there happened to be no Northerners on that yard, right? And so I was surprised at how respectful and cordial they were with each other. There was a particular Southsider in there, and I cannot remember his name, man, but this dude was extremely respectful. He was cordial, and his family would send him a lot of magazines, books and stuff like that. And after he would let his homies read them, of course, he would holler out to the Northerners and ask them if they wanted to, to check out his magazines, read his books. If they said, yeah, they would send lines back and forth to each other, back there sharing coffee and all types of stuff, So to me, like I said, just hearing about how these two groups were extremely hostile and violent toward each other more times than not. It was just surprising to see these dudes extremely respectful with each other, talking back and forth, and everybody back there was respectful. Now, when they moved me in the cell with Hoover Mike, our neighbors were some Southerners. Now, so when you're in the hole, you can still go to canteen. You can only spend like maybe about $40 or whatever it is. You can't spend as much, and it's a limit on the items that you can get. And then the items that you do order, they come to you when they bring you your commissary, your canteen. They come to your cell. A property officer. He opens everything that you've ordered and he pours it in plastic bags. And so, now, so when I got up in the hole, me and my celly Mike, we both filled out canteen lists, but for whatever reason, when they brought everybody else's store, they didn't bring our store. My next door neighbor, who was a Southsider, tapped on the wall and said, hey, one time, basically meaning there's a kite out there, grab that kite. So we bring in the kite. He introduces himself in the kite, greetings, said whoever he was or whatever. He said, hey man, I hear you guys didn't make it to the store. Do you guys need anything? You guys need any soups, cosmetics, so on and so forth. So the dude was extremely cool, extremely respectful, So we declined and told him, good looking out. And but that's the type of atmosphere that it was back there, right? Now, as I mentioned earlier, my celly Mike, he was very confrontational and antagonistic towards the COs. Every time they come to the cell, he'd have something to say to him or whatever, right? So one day when they take us to the shower, they take us to the shower, we're handcuffed, they walk us down there, we stay in the shower 5 minutes or whatever. When we come back to the cell, our cell is wrecked. They have came in, they have searched through the cell, and they have been through all his property. All his property is just, scattered everywhere all over the cell. So he runs to the door. When seeing that, he goes to screaming, hollering, and cussing, and so on and so forth, right? He had been telling me that the guards was messing with his mail. I didn't believe it, right? He was telling me because they had found him guilty for inciting a riot or whatever, and when they find you guilty, you have so many days to appeal it to the next level, or else it remains, your finding of guilt remains. So he said, he had been waiting on his final copy, because you need your final copy to submit with your paperwork when you are appealing the fact that you have been found guilty, right? And if you don't submit that in so many days, then you can't do that. So he writes the office again, the main office, and saying, hey man, I haven't received my copy. It's been so long, I should have got it by now. So he's in the hole telling me, man, they're messing with my mail. So maybe a day or two later, he gets another final copy. He gets an answer from whoever he's wrote. They tell him, hey man, we've been sent your final copy. You should have had it a week ago. So definitely the COs was back there messing with this dude, harassing him or whatever. They probably had seen it coming in the mail and just opted not to give it to him. So after he's screaming and he's hollering, one day we're in the hole and some Northerners say they got a kite for us. So they shoot us a kite. The Northerners get at us. We pull the kite in. The Northerners is saying, hey man, listen, I have a knife in the cell here, man. If you want to stab that police officer, I'll shoot you the knife. So my boy Mike, he reads the kite. He politely declines, right? He didn't want that type of smoke with him or whatever. So, he wrote back to him, said, no, he wasn't tripping that tough, whatever, right? And so now, as I told you guys earlier, the Southsider who had the magazines, who used to let everybody read his magazines, he used to always shoot a lot of magazines to this Northerner dude. Him and the Northerner dude would talk over the tier. The Northerner dude was real cool, real laid back, man. Had a upbeat personality, always laughing and clowning. He took me as one of them individuals who knew what he signed up for, and he accepted it, whether good or bad. The Northerner and the Southerner one day, they're having a conversation. The Northerner is talking about basically pretty much how he's getting ready to get released later that day. He's getting ready to be sent back to the substance abuse treatment facility, the dorm area in which he came from. And he's laughing and joking and clowning, saying, we're not that deep over there. I'll probably be right back. So in about an hour or so, the guards, they come, they get him, they tell him to turn around and cuff up. He cuffs up. They take him out the cell. They walk him on out of there, taking him back to, the main line. Sure enough, about 6 or 7 hours later, we hear somebody coming in. It's him. They bring him right back, put him in the exact same cell that he was in earlier. So when he comes back, he still has the same upbeat attitude. He's laughing and joking. Dudes are asking him, hey man, what happened? So after he gets situated, he comes and he starts having a conversation with the Southerner dude who was always shooting him the magazine. So he's speaking, they're talking back and forth. The Southerner dude asked him, hey man, what happened? He says, well, pretty much when he got over there, he came in the dorm. I think he said they had also released a few other Northerners with him. And so when they got over there to where they was going, they went to the pod, got situated, started putting their stuff together. He said a group of Southerners pushed up on him and told him, out of respect, they was gonna give them dudes, maybe like an hour to get their stuff and get up out of there. He went on to say, and I can't remember the exact numbers, but him and the other Northerners were highly outnumbered. Nevertheless, he said that, of course, him and his homies wasn't going out like no cowards. They wasn't rolling up, so on and so forth. I can't quite remember. I believe he said at that point, him and his homies decided to just take off, right, and get it out of the way. I can't quite remember exactly what happened, who rushed who, what ensued. I can't remember that 100%, so I'm not going to say that, right? But at the end of the day, they got cracking, whatever, and they all end up coming back to the hole. Now, like I said earlier, for me, by that time, I had already been locked up 10 years and had actually been in prison 8 years. And so, of course, the mindset of not being a cell soldier had already been deeply instilled in me, right? But to keep it 100 with y'all, I definitely was impressed with the actions of the Northerners and the Southerners in the hole, being not only cordial, but being more than cordial, being respectful and talking to each other like friends. Let's just say you had an individual back there in the hole from Memphis or Arkansas or whatever, and he didn't know anything about the history between the Northerners and the Southerners. You would have never even known that there was any hostility between these individuals, man. They talked with each other, they laughed and joked, and they were extremely respectful. So I'm sending my respect to all those individuals who was back there in the hole at that point in time, and I'm hoping everybody is free. Anyway, you already know what it is. It's your boy 16 of Life. Resume normal program.
Them crackers let me out the gate, now the pressure's on. We bout to get this shit straight like a pressing cone. The wrong cat to get aggressive on. I bring the bitch up out of niggas while you think they got them dresses on. My reach long and that's the best type. To have some dirty white boys come and smoke you like a meth pipe. And leave your chest bright red like a fire truck. Kicking your mom's door at night, nigga, and tie her up. I'm wild as fuck and I'm respected by the new youth. I put this pistol in their ear like a Bluetooth. I blow their brains on they new coupe. And have red everywhere just like a function full of soup whoops. Tell your troops I deal with beef like a butcher. My 4-5 pump more guys than Ashton Kutcher. Line pusher, quick to bury your clown. Nigga, I stayed in the park like the merry-go-round. Get it?
The game greasy, bitch, the game need me. Oh, you niggas don't know my name. The game greasy, bitch, the game need me. I'm out here doing my thing. The game greasy, bitch, the game need me. I swerve in my own lane. The game greasy, bitch, the game need me. Nigga, ain't shit gonna change.
I shook the coward on his hook cause it was hustle time. Only busted that you'll see me fucking with his Buster Rhymes. You spoken meth and doing lines like a dope fiend. Living foul, telling lies, hide behind a smoke screen. I'm trying to get rich by any means, except for turning to a bitch, being a snitch, or rocking skinny jeans. And a couple other things I disagree with. A lot of y'all tripping me, I'm sticking with this G shit. My heat spit, I get loony with the rifle. Riding by myself like I'm on a unicycle. I'm bad like Michael, no Randy, no Tito. I never been a bitch and I can put that on me though. First nigga trip, I'm on his ass like a Speedo. My 4-5 clapped and it's a rap, burrito. I leave you in a fetal position, I spark fast. I'm just trying to get green like the east side park grass. And the march don't ask if I might clap. I had life and now I'm home and they don't like that. I'm right back like I left something. Like I told your bitch to hold my dope sack and she kept something. Bet something if you think I left the strap at home. That bitch stayed with the kid like a chaperone. And I'm prone to put my mask on and spin the block, hit my target spinning round. That's how you change round the ops. Laying down, call the cops. Now it's lots of yellow tape. I'll never box my op unless they pay me what Canelo make. I'm a shooter, boy. I blaze shit up for Carmelo's sake. Niggas talking, acting tough, but sweeter than some yellow cake. I don't take one bite. Play with me, gunfight. A nigga come for me on mama's cuz he better come right. If not, seal casket, no more sunlight. Smoke shop, yeah, I got way more than one pipe. You will never fuck with me, pussy, you the nun type. You report shit after it happened, walk the front kite. I'm a mentor, war instructor, sensei. A nigga who was really in the field like Kunta Kinte.
The game greasy, bitch, the game need me.
When you died, so did a part of my heart. It hurt me to the point that I don't even know where to start. Literally tore me apart. It turned my whole world dark and took my breath away. I still remember every single part like it was yesterday. My mind blank, my body numb, my chest tight. Hoping God receive you and he view you in his best light, so your soul can rest right, no suffering. While I'm stuck down here, man, my pain constantly going like it's buffering. Emotions steady shuffling, I'm riding around. My whole world is upside down. I keep feeling I'm about to drown, and I don't care about the lifeguard. Not having you in my life made life hard. The rest of my life scarred, emotionally and mentally. I never realized just how much you truly meant to me. The pain trapped me like the penitentiary. I miss you every day and pray we meet again eventually. I don't really think that I'ma be okay. I miss you so much and I got so much to say. I've been really out of touch since God took you away. If I could book a flight to heaven, I would book it today. I don't really think that I'ma be okay. I miss you so much and I got so much to say. I've been really out of touch since God took you away. If I could book a flight to heaven, I would book it today. I often talk to the skies, hoping you hearing my voice. Every time that I do, my eyes get moist. I try to rejoice knowing that you up in heaven and take comfort in the words that were spoken by the reverend. But I always need Excedrin cause them thoughts give me a migraine. Only having you alive again will cancel my pain. Jesus, peace on my chain, I had to remove it. Too many questions for him, mentally I'm about to lose it. So I dive into my music and I hope somehow you hear it. Knowing that you gone to just decay into my spirit got me stressed, hurting, period, to the point I wanna scream. Only peace is when I'm sleeping, then I see you in my dreams. And we talking and I swear it really seems like you here. I wake up and you not, I be so hot I shed a tear. If I could whisper in God's ear, I beg with all my might. Build an airport up in heaven, man, I need to book a flight. I don't really think that I'ma be okay. I miss you so much and I got so much to say. I've been really out of touch since God took you away. If I could book a flight to heaven, I would book it today. I don't really think that I'ma be okay. I miss you so much and I got so much to say. I've been really out of touch since God took you away. If I could book a flight to heaven, I would book it today.